You sit there and you thump your Bible and you say your prayers, and it didn't get you anywhere. Talk about your Psalms, talk about John 3:16. Austin 3:16 says, I just whipped your ass.
I'm Luke Summerhays, and I love Gulpin. The stomach is the first place your food goes after you're done chewing and swallowing. A big stretchy bag full of chemicals and acids that melt materials and break them down. There's a reason Jabba the Hutt considered it a terrible punishment to be trapped in the Sarlacc's stomach for 10,000 years. Poison-type Pokemon attack with all kinds of acids and chemicals, melting opponents' defenses and breaking down teams. In a certain sense, it does make sense to create a stomach-based Pokemon. On the other hand, though, it is incredibly weird to see a blobfish-like disembodied stomach crawling around, making a menace of itself. Gulpin is the stomach Pokemon. A little green blob with a dopey face, some slight protrusions which you might think of as limbs, and a yellow feather atop its head, which in a real stomach would be the esophagus, I guess? At first glance, Gulpin is kind of cute, I suppose, in a sort of slime from Dragon Quest way, but think about it for half a second and yeah, it's really gross. Pokemon Ruby tells us, virtually all of Gulpin's body is its stomach. As a result, it can swallow something its own size. This Pokemon's stomach contains a special fluid that digests anything. Pokemon Sapphire says, most of Gulpin's body is made up of its stomach. Its heart and brain are very small in comparison. Emerald says, this Pokemon's stomach fluid can digest scrap iron. And finally, Fire Red and Leaf Green told us, there is nothing its stomach can't digest. While it is digesting, vile, overpowering gases are expelled. So, this whole Pokemon is essentially a fart joke. The name Gulpin obviously takes gulp, as in gulping down food into one's stomach, and combines it with toxin, or maybe sculpin, the group of animals to which blobfish belong. The Japanese name is Gokurin, combining toxin this time with Gokuri, the Japanese onomatopoeia for swallowing. Gulpin have made a few anime appearances, usually causing a nuisance by appearing en masse and eating things, or, more recently, sticking a large number of people and Pokemon together in a big ball and bouncing around. At level 26, Gulpin is able to make more than just a minor nuisance of itself when it evolves into Swalot. Swalot is a taller, purple blob with a slightly more humanoid form, perhaps now containing a full digestive tract rather than just a stomach. It has a diamond pattern running around its body, and a kind of yellow mustache, much like the whiskers on some kinds of fish. Swalot, as the name suggests, can swallow a lot. Pokemon Ruby tells us, when Swalot spots prey, it spurts out a hideously toxic fluid from its pores and sprays the target. Once the prey has weakened, this Pokemon gulps it down whole with its cavernous mouth. Sapphire tells us, Swalot has no teeth, so what it eats, it swallows whole, no matter what. Its cavernous mouth yawns widely. An automobile tire could easily fit inside this Pokemon's mouth. And Pokemon Emerald tells us, its powerful stomach acid is capable of digesting almost anything. The one thing in the whole world a Swalot can't digest is its own stomach. Its Japanese name is Marunum, coming from Marunomi, or swallowing whole. In a little piece of self-deprecating humour, Satoshi Yamamoto, the artist of the long-running Pokemon adventures, represents himself with a little picture of a Swalot. Pokemon Adventures is not read as widely as the anime is watched, but I really do recommend it. a much closer adaptation of the games, which actually brings in new protagonists each generation, allowing the others to age. It might be everything you wanted from young Ash Ketchum's escapades. Also, yes, famously it has a couple of slightly quote-unquote darker stories with zombies and, Pokemon getting sliced in half, but that was just the manga finding its feet, I think. Gulpin and Swalot are weird Pokemon. But between your cute, fluffy little creatures, and your big dragons and your karate guys, I think you need some weirdos here and there. Music for Luke Loves Pokemon was composed by Jonathan Cromie. Artwork for the show is by Katie Groves. Writing, editing, and producing is all by me, Luke Summerhays, and costs are covered by my lovely supporters on Patreon. If you like this podcast, please rate and review on whatever podcast app you're listening through, and please tell your Pokemon-loving friends. The podcast can be found on Twitter and Facebook at LukeLovesPKMN, so why not get in touch? The next two monsters are Carvanha and Wailmer, so please get in touch with your thoughts about those or any other monsters. Lastly, as I mentioned, this podcast is supported by Patreon. If you want to listen to episodes early and help keep the show hosted online, visit patreon.com/podcastiopodcastius. And if you have an idea for something I could offer that would make you interested in signing up, Twitch streams, Q&As, videos, or content on wider topics, please let me know. And even if you don't feel like doing any of that, thank you so much just for listening. I love Gulpin. And remember, I love you too.